Hello everybody, I hope you're well. As you can hear, I'm not great myself. My voice is a bit croaky. But I wanted to do this video really badly. Because I have realized just what a great part of my life anarchism is. So I just wanted to talk about why I'm an anarchist and what anarchy means to me. So, where do I start? I guess it's just a part of who I am. Although I didn't realize it until recently. I didn't put a word to it, a label to it, if you like. I mean, I'm not a great fan of labels, but they do have their uses, as long as you use them correctly. Words are tools like anything else. And I've always had an innate problem with authority. I remember when I was 3 years old, I was at play school. And the woman who ran the play school, she was an old bat. Really was. I mean, there is no other way to describe her. And every time we did a music session, she would always play the Coconuts. And I found that really unfair. I wanted to play the Coconuts, so I asked her. She said no. She gave me a tambourine instead. So what did I do? I sat on the freaking tambourine and wouldn't play. You know, that was me. That was me resisting. That was a 3-year-old Carly not doing what she was told because I saw it as unjust and unfair. And as a young child, I always did speak out against injustice. I had a very intimidating great aunt who said that if I wasn't a good girl, she would take my mother away from me. So I told her that I would come after her and run her over with a car. Excuse me. No, but I've always had a problem with authority in general. People telling me what to do, but particularly when it's not justified, it's not in my best interest. You know, I can't see how that would either benefit me or anyone else, apart from the person in question. Apart from them getting a kick out of, you know, controlling somebody. And of course, this world is full of people like that. And as you might have guessed, that was pretty much stomped out of me by the system. I mean, I went to private school, for goodness sake, up until I was 17 and walked out because of the silly little rules like, you know, not allowed to wear a coat indoors, not allowed to wear jewellery or makeup or you know, even your watch strap has to be a certain colour or your hairbands or whatever for girls. You know, it was just really just pathetic. And there were certain teachers, obviously, who got a kick out of enforcing those rules, and it was just pathetic. But how, you know, but as I said, you know, this was this speaking out at least against it was put down, suppressed in me by my education and my upbringing. And it couldn't really be entirely, because as I said, it's innate. It was part of me. It is part of me. It's part of who I am. And so, you know, it would come out in bursts. You know, I could keep it in so long, and then all of a sudden it would just like burst out. And it's led me to do some pretty crazy stuff. And it's kind of led me to where I am today. Well, I got mixed feelings about that, but never mind. But as for being an anarchist, an actual anarchist, I didn't actually realise that's what it was. Excuse me again. Until quite recently. Because I had, of course, this vision of anarchy that is given to us by the system, especially by the media, by teachers, by everybody. The anarchy is a free-for-all. It's chaos. It's lawlessness. It's a mess. Anarchists are troublemakers. They're bad people. they want hell on earth, Nothing could be further from the truth. And so I didn't, despite having a problem with control systems such as government and even religion as well, telling people what to think, what to do, and of course I've never thought the way that other people do. I've always thought differently, and I've always been penalised for that, but I can't think any other way. At school when I was studying 16th century history, which was a passion of mine, again, I've lost that passion because I studied it, because my analysis wasn't the analysis that the examiners had, the standard analysis of events, because it was more along those lines. When I was studying it at A level, it was more along the lines of analysis, but you had to come to the same conclusions as the examiners, kind of thing. But I didn't come to those same conclusions. I analysed it in a different way, and so I was penalised for it. I mean, I did some darn good essays and stuff. I worked really hard. I was passionate about it, and I thought that it was a good thing bringing in a fresh perspective and questioning it. But no, the marks didn't prove me right at all. They proved me well and truly wrong. I should have just gone with the official version of things, and that was that. Again, it's a form of mind control, and mind control, of course, well, even the word government means mind control. If you look into it, it does actually mean mind control. And that is the major one, is government, but also religions. And it always pissed me off. It's like, whether it be, I don't know, the silly little rules in religions, like certain religions say what you can and can't eat or drink, telling you must go to church or to the mosque or whatever to connect with God. You must go via intermediary to connect with God. That was it was like, what? That's just madness. And also, with the state as well, things like, drugs. I could never understand why drugs were illegal. I was like, okay. It was explained to me, yes, but they're dangerous for you. It's like, okay, so what? We're kids now and the government's our parents? Fully grown adults should be able to make the decision what they put in their bodies. As long as it's an informed decision, they should be allowed to do what they like. And one where the state and the church seem to meet is marriage. Who you're allowed to marry. I believe in equal rights to marriage. I mean, I don't even believe in marriage as, contract and all that. I think that's just crazy. I think it's great to sort of declare your undying love for your partner in front of friends and family and make promises to each other and all that. But, that's very romantic. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But bringing the state and religion into it, I'm sorry, but what have they got to do with it? This is between two people who love each other. It's got nothing to do with any freaking priests or whatever, or government. I just don't get that. I never have. Having said that, I did get married. I have my reasons. And I'm now divorced. And happily divorced. But, that kind of goes without saying, doesn't it? But yeah, as I said, I've always had a problem, and, and of course taxation. Taxation for me was always theft. I remember it was bad enough in the UK, but when I worked in France it was even worse. When you look at your paycheck, you look at how much you've actually earned and then how much you're actually going to get paid, you're like, what the? How dare they take that much of my money, my hard-earned cash? And do I get a say in what they spend it on? Absolutely not. And I have a huge problem with that as well. It's just like, I work hard and I don't even have a choice, whether I give it, especially in France, because I couldn't even vote. And, this was before, I would anyway if I could, because there's no one worth voting for. And I do believe that if voting did change anything, they wouldn't allow it. So, and nothing changes. You know, the head of a country, that everybody, you know, they can all play musical chairs in government and nothing freaking changes. So it's pretty darn obvious that, you know, the whole multiple party system, whether it be 2 or 3 party systems, it's just a load of crap. It's not real. You're not going to vote away any of the problems or petition away any of the problems. I mean, in desperation in the past, yeah, I've signed petitions, but now I can't even be bothered, you know? It's like, why? Well, not on the things that matter anyway, not on the really core issues. There's no point. There's no point. On little things like, you know, I guess animal cruelty and that sort of thing, I can't really not, but I'm going off my point now. So yeah, I always had these problems with government and religion in particular. Even the school system, it felt like a prison, at least mentally. It felt like a prison because, you know, as I said in my history class, because I was thinking differently to others, I was penalised. And so, yeah, I've always been an anarchist without knowing it until I actually learned what the word anarchy meant. And it doesn't mean what we're led to believe it means. It doesn't mean chaos. It doesn't mean lawlessness. In fact, it just means without rulers, not without rules. And yeah, it comes from Greek. The an bit means without, and archonis, archon, archi, that's the bit that means masters, rulers. So yeah, I believe in ruling oneself and cooperation rather than coercion. I think it's much healthier, and I think that's one of the problems in this world, is that a lot of people who are statists, one of their things is, you know, about the roads and hospitals and that sort of thing, because they think we need government to take our money and to spend that on building all this stuff we need, all the infrastructures and stuff, and organising all of that. We need that. They don't think that we can come together and each community work together to build what they need and get what they need done via cooperation, and according to their own needs, their specific needs. And you know, I think that, you know, these people, it's because we live in an individualist society, you know, and that is what we've been kept in, because if we did start really having this sense of community and helping each other out, working together towards a common goal, then we would see how obsolete government is, and government wouldn't stand a chance. So that's how I see things. And it's the same with law enforcement, because there are laws, you know. If somebody does harm to anybody, if they kill somebody, if they rape them, if they abuse them, if they steal from them, if they damage their property, there is a victim there. And when there is a victim, there is a crime. And the person who has committed that crime should be punished and should be prevented from reoffending as much as possible. I don't, you know, whether you I don't know, you send them away never to come back, you banish them, you know, like they used to in the old days, or whether you actually imprison them. It's up to the community to decide that. And I do believe that law enforcement can be done through cooperation, purely and simply. And I think that way as well, the victims would be treated better. And it's the same for welfare. I think that if you did away with government, and so with welfare, I think that people would be more inclined to help somebody else get a job and help them feel useful, and, you know, exchanging their services for, you know, things in the community. You know, until I got a proper job, if you still want to go with money and that sort of thing, if somebody finds themselves unemployed, they can always go around and you know, get sort of odd jobs around the community, and in exchange for whatever that person needs, whether it be money or just a meal or help with something or whatever it may be. And I think that's a more humane, it's a more fair system of doing things rather than money. I think money can be useful if it's used correctly. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against money, I'm just against the economic system, financial system, the way that's all done. I don't think that's right. I think it's immoral, and it's designed to make the rich richer and the poor poorer, and it's unfair and it's immoral, as I said, and I think that money can be used, but I think we also need to use barter and exchange of services and goods, as well as money. I think that needs to be brought back in a much bigger fashion. I know that it happens on a small scale in various places, but I think it should become a norm, more of a norm. And this is what anarchy is all about for me. It's about doing away with slavery and coercion, and bringing in freedom and cooperation. And of course, with freedom comes responsibility, and that's what we need. We need to be responsible adults getting along, and people think that's impossible, and I don't. I think that's very pessimistic, and they don't take into account that the system has done all it can to keep itself in power, to keep itself going, to keep the status quo. And when you remove the government and everything it does to keep itself in power, things are going to change. Things are going to change. You might say it's utopic. Going from a troublemaker to and chaos to utopia and a dreamer. I prefer you to call me a dreamer than a troublemaker, because I ain't no troublemaker. And most anarchists, I don't think there are any true anarchists who are troublemakers. At least, we're not about bringing chaos. On the contrary, we want to do away with injustice. We want to do away with all these crimes committed by the government, and we want to do away with victimless crimes as well. We just want freedom, cooperation, helping each other out. And I think government makes people bad, good people bad. Really, I do. When you look at police brutality, and you look at how, depending on who you are, depends on the justice you get. It's you don't get justice if you're just Joe Bloggs. But if you're a banker, you can get away with about anything. You get away with murder. And all this kind of thing, the class system as well, all the hierarchy, that's what I want to do away with. What makes one human being better than another? I don't think you can justify that at all. You cannot justify making one human being better than another. The government would have us believe that we're stupid, that we're immoral, that we're incapable of taking care of ourselves. But what makes them better, so much better that they can do it for us? What makes them better so they can do it for us? Apart from the fact they're probably, especially the higher up you go, the less subject they are to the amount of control that the people on the bottom level of the pyramid are. The ordinary people. So yeah. This is what anarchy is to me. This is why anarchy is a big part of who I am. It's freedom. It's freedom with responsibility. It isn't lawlessness, it isn't chaos. And that's what I believe in, and that's the way forward for me. And I am sure that one day, we will have true anarchy, true freedom, true cooperation, and we'll see just how agreeable and pleasant compared to now, and less stressful life can be. You know, we can truly experience life as we were meant to experience it. We can truly grow and learn and enjoy our existence here on this planet. And not to mention all the free energy and that sort of thing that would come out, all the stuff they've kept hidden from us if we did away with government and with all the control system that's in place. Because it's not just government. Government's a facade. Government is a facade for the corporations. I told you I'm not well. The corporations and the whole control system. I'm not just talking about government. I'm talking about the whole thing, because, you know, as I said, government's a facade. And so I'm not just against government. I'm just against control, the control system, hierarchy. So yeah, I've gone on and on and on in this video. I kind of expected it to be a long one, despite not feeling well at all. But I just wanted to share with you what anarchy means to me, as I said, and why I'm an anarchist, and what anarchy is really about. So if you're interested, if you didn't know about anarchy, what it really is, you just had this image of anarchy that is the official version of what it is, please do check out other anarchists, listen to them. You know what, I'm going to put a few links in the description box that you can check out if you're interested now in anarchy, and I really hope you do, because we've got a long way to go before we make progress with this idea. Obviously we are the enemy of the state, of the control system, so you know, everything is done to dismiss our ideas, our visions of how things should be, how things could be. But please, 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 get yourself informed and educated on this matter, and educate the people around you, friends, family, your email list, whatever. Please get informed. Knowledge isn't power in itself, but it is empowering. So anyway, I will leave it at that. Thank you very much for listening. Excuse my coughing and my sniffing and all the rest of it, and I shall speak to you soon.